Laura Bennett refused to stop using my hose. So, I filled it with paint. She strutted across my lawn as if she owned it once again, dragging my hose like it was her DIY entitlement. This time, she brought a new gadget, a deluxe 360 degrees rotating sprinkler, proudly staking it in the center of her pristine front yard like a trophy. She twisted the spigot, anticipating a clear stream of water. Instead, what erupted wasn't water. It was thick, bright, unmistakable. A violet jet of neon orange paint burst from the sprinkler head with a hiss, spraying in a glorious arc that struck her square in the chest. The sprinkler whirled once, coating her driveway, twice, splattering her porch, and by the third rotation, Laura was shrieking, arms flailing as she slipped in the growing puddle of VYVYD color. The same smug woman now resembled a chaotic abstract painting gone wild. The best part? The HOA president happened to stroll by and witnessed it all. His expression when the paint blasted her face was unforgettable. I captured every second in crisp 4K. This wasn't just about a hose, Anna Marie, it was war, and I'd fired the opening shot. Curious how it escalated to this point? Let me take you back to the day she sliced through my hose lock with bolt cutters and dared me to respond. Oh, I responded. I painted the self-proclaimed queen of the cul-de-sac literally. And in true Laura fashion, she didn't retreat. She retaliated the only way she knew how, by manipulating the system. She filed baseless HOA complaints, fabricated witness testimonies, and sent an official-sounding letter accusing me of a chemical assault. Fines followed, then threats. But if Laura thought this was over, she didn't know me. Before the internet got involved, before lawsuits and a neighborhood uprising, let's rewind to the moment it truly began, when she first stole my water and assumed she'd get away with it. If you asked why I moved to Pinewood Grove, I'd give you the same answer I gave everyone. I craved fresh air, quieter days, and a chance to hear my own thoughts. Just outside Santa Rosa, California, nestled among old vineyards and artisan lavender fields, it was the kind of place you'd see in a real estate brochure. Oakline streets, porch swings swaying gently, neighbors who waved even if they didn't know you. It seemed like tranquility had settled in and built a home. But I was mistaken. Peace didn't reside here. Laura Bennett did. She arrived 2 months after, metal, polished, with a voice that turned every sentence into a judgment. Her stride was purposeful, her clipboard ever-present, her stare like a surveyor assessing your mailbox height. Laura wasn't even the HOA president. That was Dave Y.D. Harper, a relaxed retired architect who only cared if your holiday decorations lingered past February. But Laura didn't need a title. She'd crowned herself ruler of the block. She patrolled like it was a gated fortress, lodged complaints about overgrown lawns, scolded delivery drivers for speeding, and once demanded a neighbor repaint their door because the soft blue was visually disruptive. At first, I found it amusing. We all did. Then she came for my water. It started subtly. My water bill edged up, not drastically, just enough to raise an eyebrow. I lived alone. I wasn't running a water park. I suspected a leak at first. Then, one Saturday after a grocery trip, I pulled into my driveway and saw it. Laura, in a striped blouse and oversized sun hat, dragging my hose across my lawn like it was hers. She hooked it to a shiny pressure washer and began blasting her deck with the confidence of someone cleaning a national monument. I froze. She glanced up, flashed a neighborly smile, and shouted over the machine's roar, "Hope you don't mind, your hose has great range." Then she turned away. That night, I approached her, still CIVYL. "Hey, Laura," I said, "I noticed you using my hose earlier. Everything okay with your water?" She chuckled as if I'd cracked a pun. "Oh, no, hon. I just like yours better. The pressure's perfect." "Right," I replied, "but I pay for that water." She blinked, then laughed outright. "We're all neighbors, aren't we? It's community spirit." She shut the door before I could answer. That's when something shifted, not loudly, not explosively, but quietly, like a thread snapping. I'm not one for driveway confrontations. I fix things. So, I emailed the HOA with photos, a calm description, and a request for clarification on shared property rules. Days later, I got a reply. "We encourage residents to resolve minor disputes amicably. HOA intervention isn't necessary at this stage." Translation: handle it yourself. So, I did. I bought a spigot lock. A week later, it vanished, not broken, not pried off, but cleanly cut, as if by bolt cutters. I stood there, holding the severed remnant like Evy Denke from a heist. Across the street, Laura was back, washing her Jeep like she was in a commercial, water glistening off the hood. I marched over, direct this time. "Laura, where's my lock?" She didn't look up. "Oh, that? It was a tripping hazard. I fixed it." I stared. "You cut it off?" "Public safety," she said, smiling. "You're welcome." She resumed spraying. I walked away, sat on my couch, and didn't move for 10 minutes. The HOA stayed silent. Laura seemed invincible, and apparently, I was now funding her outdoor spa days. But that night, an idea struck. If I couldn't stop her, I could reveal her. I installed a motion-activated camera, small, weatherproof, discreetly angled at the spigot. 2 days later, I had footage. Laura trespassing, yanking the hose, watering her roses, filling a kiddie pool, even bathing her Labrador, all on my dime. I posted it to the neighborhood app. Neighbor takes my water daily. Suggestions? The response was explosive. People were outraged. Some shared their own Laura tales. One said she'd reported his wind chimes for disturbing her sleep. Another said she'd threatened to call the city over his kid's lemonade stand. One comment stuck with me. "She's ruled too long. Time to dethrone her." I didn't respond, but I saved it. Laura had thrown down a gauntlet, and I was ready to pick it up. For 2 days, Laura went quiet. Her house, usually alive with her morning patrols and passive-aggressive chats with the mail carrier, was still curtains closed, no Jeep, no sound. It wasn't peaceful silence. It was the kind that builds tension. I knew she wasn't gone, she was plotting. On the 3rd day, she struck back. My doorbell rang 3 times, sharp and insistent. The camera showed her, hair in a tight bun, lips thin, holding an envelope. She wasn't just mad, she was armed. I opened the door slowly, phone recording in my pocket. "What do you want, Laura?" She didn't hesitate. "You think you're smart? Humiliating me online? You think that's justice?" "I think stopping theft is called boundaries," I said. She sneered and shoved the envelope at me. "You'll hear from my attorney. This is a chemical attack, though. You grasp the legal consequences." I took it. "Laura, the only thing attacked was your pride. Keep joking, I am suing for damages and distress. My dog needed a vet. My deck's ruined." I raised an eyebrow. "Your dog wasn't even out there." Her eyes flickered. She had no comeback. Instead, she spun around, issuing a final warning. "You've crossed the wrong person." Inside, I opened the envelope. It wasn't from a lawyer, just a poorly typed document, full of errors, pretending to be legal. No signature, no letterhead, just threats like, "Cease your water terrorism." It'd be comical if it weren't so unhinged. The next day, an official HOA notice appeared in my mailbox. Laura had filed a complaint. Willful endangerment, hostile conduct, anti-ischemical warfare. They fined me due loss $600 and put my BHA VY, or under re VYEW. I was stunned. I called the HOA, na VY gated voicemails and a confused intern, and finally reached someone. I explained the theft, the videos, the locks used my hose repeatedly without permission. "We'll consider it at the next meeting," they said vaguely. "When's that?" "Next month." That's when I saw Laura's game. Slow bureaucracy left me dangling. But she miscalculated. She didn't know how far I'd go. While she wielded the HOA like a shield, I went surgical. I dove into the HOA bylaws, city codes, and county record, not obsession, but preparation. In Section 4.2b, I struck gold. Unauthorized use of another resident's utilities warranted fines and PRI-like suspension. I had proof, videos, timestamps, witnesses. Unlike Laura's fake claims, mine were solid. It was time to turn the table, not just defend, but dismantle her reign. The next morning, I compiled everything: screenshots, footage of Laura sneaking onto my property, a timeline of her hose thefts, stills of her slicing the lock. I annotated it like a legal brief. This was a trial now. But I didn't stop there. Laura had too many foes for me to fight alone. I knocked on doors. First, James, a quiet illustrator 3 houses down. Laura had once reported his Halloween lights as overly intense. He skimmed my EVY Denke and said, "Where do I sign?" Then Clara, a retired nurse across the street. Laura had called animal control on her scruffy rescue dog. Clara joined instantly. By Sunday, I had 6 sworn statements, a petition for action, and a USB of clips showing Laura harassing delivery drivers, trespassing, and yelling at a gardener for pruning too neatly. Monday, I delivered it all to the HOA chair, Richard, a stern man who'd once fined me for non-native ferns. He blinked at the stack. "We'll review this," he said. "Take your time," I replied, smiling. "The internet won't." While I rallied the neighborhood, the internet did its thing. Someone I still don't know who crafted a viral montage. Laura stealing the hose, getting sprayed, melting down, confronting me, all synced to dramatic music with slow-motion flair. It blew up on TikTok, Reddit, even hit a local news blog as Suburban Standoff, The Water Wars. Laura wasn't just notorious, she was a meme. When the HOA got flooded with emails from strangers demanding her ouster, the momentum shifted. Laura played VY Tim, parading around in sunglasses and a neck brace, claiming hydraulic injury. No one bought it, especially after James posted video of her hauling 40-pound mulch bags. Then, at an emergency HOA meeting moved up 2 weeks due to the uproar, Richard announced, "We're investigating repeated trespassing, utility misuse, and abuse of HOA processes per the submitted EVY. Laura sat up front, arms crossed, glaring. When they suspended her PRIVY leases, she leapt up, yelling, "This is a conspiracy. I'll sue you all." Someone muttered, "Tell it to the sprinkler," and the room burst into laughter. She stormed out. But Laura didn't fade quietly. 2 days of eerie calm followed her house dark, no movement. We all sensed a trap. Then it hit. Flyers in every mailbox, bold red text screaming, "Neighborhood alert, beware the instigator on Cedar Lane." Below was a candid photo of me walking my dog, Oblivious. Laura's version painted me as a cyberbully waging a toxic smear campaign, even claiming I'd unleashed sewage on her lawn. It was absurd, but it sowed doubt. Some neighbors checked in, others avoided me. I acted fast, filed a complaint with code enforcement. Her flyers broke local rules, consulted a lawyer for protection, and upgraded my cameras with cloud backups and sensors. I was ready. Thursday night, 10:42 p.m., my phone pinged. Motion detected, backyard gate. The feed showed Laura in a black hoodie, flashlight in hand, creeping to my spigot. She fiddled with it, muttering, "Wrench and glove." I'd swapped the sewage line for safe, neon green to harmless but bold. It erupted, drenching her in a fluorescent wave. She screamed as lights flicked on across the street, neighbors emerging, some in pajamas, one in a Star Wars onesie. Caught green-handed on multiple HD angles, she spun at me, wild-eyed. "You planned this. You broke in," I said calmly. I secured my property. Police arrived minutes later, sighed at the footage, and took her away, still ranting. I'm the VY Tim. She spent a night in jail, misdemeanors, trespassing, tampering. But the fallout was seismic. By Friday, every neighbor knew. Henry, a reserved guy 2 doors down, edited the clips into a Laura's Downfall. Hose edition, VY Deo with spy music. It went viral statewide, then nationally. The HOA barred her from amenities. A news crew filmed outside her house, dubbing it the Hose Wars of Pinewood Grove. Her yard dulled, her influence faded. Then came the HOA's certified letter, due to documented violations, trespassing, harassment, utility misuse. She was stripped of PRIVY leases indefinitely, with EVY tying proceedings underway per Section 4.2b. She fought, filed motions, cried retaliation, but the EVY crushed her. 30 days later, she moved out, alone, muttering, "This isn't over," as her truck pulled away. Peace returned, briefly. Then, a fake Yelp review called my home hazardous. A box of shredded hose arrived, postmarked New Mexico. A raspy voice called, "You made her stronger," and hung up. Laura was gone, but her echo lingered. I refused to live in her shadow. I threw a piece on the prairie, BB krill roaring, kids on a slip and slide made from that hose. It was joy reclaimed. But as dusk fell, a text buzzed. "You'll never rinse me away," with a photo of me at the party, taken from her old porch. She was back, watching from the dark. I caught her on camera nights later, brazen, staring into the lens on her former porch. The house now belonged to an LL Share workaround. Letters slipped under my door. "You're in my game now." Noises plagued mecha engines, fake barks, a hum outside my window. She was unhinging me, but I documented it all: decibels, footage, notes. Then, one night, I caught her at my spigot, wrench in hand, twisting my trap against me. "I've been in your house," she sneered. "Locks don't stop me." Police arrested her unlawful entry, sabotage, harassment. With my records and her history, a 500-foot restraining order stuck. Weeks later, I saw her silhouette in the trees, watching. She'd never fully leave. But I wasn't alone anymore. I had allies, proof, a community. Laura wasn't facing a pushover. She'd met the storm.